All right, good afternoon. My name is Eva Bass, and I am the CEO and founder of Bridge the Gap Resource and Outreach Incorporated. And I am here just to give some community updates and talk a little bit about what we do here at Bridge the Gap. First, I want to talk about our wonderful inaugural Action of Collaboration Conference that's going to be on March 30th, 2025 at the Empire State Plaza. This conference is going to take place between the hours of 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it's going to be jam-packed with a lot of tools, conversations, and connections to promote more collaboration in our region. The Action and Collaboration Conference is very important for the capital region and beyond because we really need to hone in on the tools and the skills to really take collaboration into action moving forward, especially with the state of our nation. So I want to make sure that you're able to join us by registering for our free RSVP for the Action and Collaboration Conference. We have our keynote speaker, Harris Oberlander, who is the executive director of Trinity Alliance. We have an array of panelists and wonderful facilitators for our workshops. So please stay tuned for information for that. I want to talk a little bit about why it's important to collaborate, especially with the state of our community. A lot of organizations and institutions have limited budgets and funding that are strictly for their operation and have little wiggle room to be innovative and responsive to the direct community needs. And so when we practice the action of collaboration, we're able to build capacity and maximize on the impact of the resources that we have. This can be in kind, or this can be, bringing together your grants and your opportunities with your projects. I want to make sure that our community is empowered to understand that it takes all of us to be a solution, regardless if it's gun violence, housing inequities, food disparities, or even issues with our incarcerated and formerly incarcerated folks. We have to come together not only to advocate and to stand for what's right and what's equitable, but really do what's right within our institution and our organizations. As community leaders, as executives, even as employees at these organizations, it's important for us to put our passion first and make sure that we're always aligning our work to make sure it's directly helping and supporting the direct needs of our community. I want to talk about why it's important for our community to really have that access point to the resources that we provide. Even though New York State, especially the city of Albany, is over-concentrated with resources, nonprofits, and different kind of initiatives. A lot of times community members are not getting the direct connection to these necessary resources. And so we really need to take a step back and look at why that is happening. Bridge the Gap took the time in 2024 and did a community impact survey. We did about 3 or 4 ways. We did an online survey that went out to the greater community to get an assessment of what the community's needs were for situations regarding housing, food inequities, and public safety. The community responded, and the community had a high response of not feeling well supported by government officials and community leaders. They found it hard to connect to community resources, and they also had a high percentage that felt like our communities were over-policed and we did not have a healthy community policing relationship with our overall police departments. We also had community engagement where we were able to have interactive boards where community members can put up sticky notes and give us insight about what our community needed. And the feedback was they needed more programs, they needed more services, they needed equitable, affordable housing, they needed access to training and living wages. And so as we go forward to do our work, we use this data to make sure that we're centering our work to support the direct needs of the community. And so what we're going to do is really continue to progress forward and share this information with our collaborative partners and our greater community to make sure that they can benefit from this survey as well. And so if you need a copy of that survey so you can utilize it to the benefit of your organization or to steer your program's directives, please reach out to me, Eva Bass, at ebass@bridgethegap.org. And the is spelled THA. Lastly, I want to talk about why organizations need to make sure that collaboration is instituted within their community and within their work. A lot of times we, just try to go out there and do the work ourselves. Sometimes we think that we are solving an issue, which most times we are, but when we collaborate together and link with like-minded individuals and organizations and build upon the capacity of our resources, we're able to maximize on the impact, right? And it's just very important that we focus on ways to collaborate. I could talk about ways that I collaborate within my organizations. Not only am I the CEO and founder of Bridge the Gap Resource and Outreach, but I am also the director of A Village, Inc., which is a community advocacy organization birthed out of the South End. We prioritize the needs of our community that have been disenfranchised and marginalized. We make sure that we insert our community where in areas where there have been disinvestment. In ways that we have supported collaboration is not only creating platforms, but we have instituted a collaborative called the SECC, which stands for the South End Community Collaborative. Back in about 2018, a group of organizations under A Village and the direction of our old executive director and founder, Willie White, which transitioned to, some other leadership, decided to respond to the pandemic. And instead of giving up and halting and not working on this important work, we worked with an array of community stakeholders, government agencies, colleges, nonprofit organizations, and community members and community leaders to continue the conversation so that we can make sure that we were prioritizing the needs of the community. Years later, the SECC has now continued to meet and to build our partnerships within our community and talk about key issues and advocate for the direct needs of the community. So other ways that we practice collaboration within my arms is just to make sure we maximize on project-based initiatives. And within our project-based initiatives, we make sure that we kind of look at and see, if we're addressing housing or environmental justice or food inequities, what other key partners are working on those same things. We have been successful on many different projects, and I'll start with A Village. We have a project called Reimagine Albany, which is a collaborative of organizations, including but not limited to, because I don't want to forget anybody, Clean and Healthy, the Capital Area Urban League, Radix Center, the NAACP, who else? Arbor Hill Community Development Corporation, and so many others, where we came together to make sure the community's needs were prioritized as we are looking at the reconstruction of 787. We also are a part of a collaborative called Albany, ALL. Under the leadership of Trinity Alliance, we come together to make sure we're addressing environmental justice, workforce development, and creating space for thriving communities. And A Village's place, as well as Bridge the Gap, is to make sure that we're uplifting the community's voices and creating advocacy and promoting community leadership. We're also a part of a initiative called Clean Energy Hub. Under the leadership of the Affordable Housing Partnership, we are able to come together with organizations like Radix and the Cornell Cooperative and many others to address the inequities with energy efficiency and education in our community. And so that's just a little tidbit of how A Village has been able to address not only inequities in our community, but also in a collaborative way. Bridge the Gap also works in a collaboration with an array of organizations to address gun violence and prevention in our community through the Project Rise initiative through New York State DCGS. And we are able to not only address violence in our community, but also provide programs like mentorship, emergency food assistance, entrepreneurship empowerment, and support other grassroots programs and initiatives that don't have their official 501c3 or access to equitable funding, like dance teams, Elite Barbettes, who we've been supporting for the past 2 years, and Lit Movement, which also does parenting and anger management. And so just to wrap up, I just want to encourage you all to come participate at the Action of Collaboration Conference, regardless if you're an executive, regardless if you're a director of a program, regardless if you're a college student, regardless if you do an internship, even if you're a community member, and especially those who are working in the direct service, service navigators, service navigators and direct service employees who work face-to-face with community members. We want you to join us. This is a collaborative movement in our community and a call to action to have an action of collaboration so that we can move the envelope forward, not only in the city of Albany, not only in the capital region, not only in New York State, but nationally and beyond, so we can come together in unity and collaboration to create positive change.